Hey everyone, welcome to Eyes Closed with Enter Shikari. Thanks for taking the time, guys. Most important question first. Have you recovered from the elevator incident?
News of that travelled fast, didn't it?
It took me until yesterday. No, the day before yesterday was the first night I actually slept fine again. I don't think it was all down to the lift thing. I think it was just getting back into normal life and out of the, sleeping on a bus and out of tour life. But yeah, it was pretty horrible.
Did anyone of you get super claustrophobic?
I got a little bit. Yeah.
I think the more I think about it in that situation, the more I'd get or freak myself out. So
the funny thing is, I think all of us inside were sort of slightly panicking, but we felt for everyone else's sake, we all have to keep a straight face.
Of course.
So everyone was having the same feeling, like, oh fuck, this really sucks. But on the outside, we were all quite calm and just maybe one bead of sweat just coming down your faces.
Yeah. Just because it was so small, it was we were all squashed up against each other, and it was such a small lift. And the one saving grace is that we managed to get the lift door open, and even though we were between floors, so it was just a brick wall.
Right.
It was then we could get a draft because it was so hot.
Oh god.
And so there wasn't any air conditioning or ventilation or anything. So we were just all breathing in each other's exhaled air, and it was getting warmer and warmer and.
Yeah.
It's worse and worse.
If we hadn't been able to open that lift door, I think I would have just lost it. I'd be taken away by the men in white coats, I think.
Well, on that note, there's a happy ending to the story, so really glad. So tell me a little bit about tonight's event, also for non-British sort of audiences, and maybe how you're adjusting your set to the occasion.
Yeah. Well, it's a much smaller show. It's 400 cap, I think. So we're doing mainly the same set that we're doing on tour at the moment, but we don't have our lighting rig or any of the sort of big specialities that we would at a normal show. So it's just a punk rock show.
Sick. Back to basics.
Yeah.
Sort of intimate. Very cool. I'm very excited. And so it's for a war child, isn't it?
Yes.
In the context of the Brits.
Yes.
So I love that you're a band. I mean, I know you hate when people say, "Oh, you're a political band," blah. But I was sort of surprised how few bands sort of spoke out against Brexit and incorporated that into their music, because that's something. I mean, come on, if you're in a touring band. Surely that's gonna really hit you hard. We're sort of steering towards a hard Brexit. Is that something that you're also sort of urging maybe bands that you're friends with to kind of address more?
I certainly haven't encouraged.
Yeah, I don't think it's really our place to. I mean, we're friends with other bands and musicians, but I don't think it's our place to tell them what to sing about if they. It surprises me that, like you say, that more people don't, because this is such a big thing that's happening right now, and it's impacting everyone in the UK dramatically. You'd have to have your head chopped off not to sort of be affected by what's going on. But yeah, we're quite open about where we sort of our feelings on the matter, and if other people want to talk about it in their music or don't want to, that's up to them, I guess.
Okay. If I was to go to another band and tell them to speak their mind on Brexit, then I'd effectively be telling them to cut their audience in half, because 50%, is probably not quite that high anymore, of the population voted to leave and remain. So it's like an economic decision more than anything, and a lot of people, especially big bands that have they're going to have people on both sides of the equation that are fans, and they don't want to lose their market share.
Of course, gotta make them bucks. I guess for me, coming from Germany, I think if we had something like that happening, there would be musical riots. We'd put on I don't know, whatever, like concerts and stuff. So your current tour is called Stop the Clocks. And is it true? Well, you have a song that you've been playing live.
Yes.
Named that way. Is it true that you've been referencing it in previous live performances?
Yeah. So that, I mean, the melody and the bridge of that song has been around. Someone actually tweeted the other day that they went through loads of like bootleg and live albums and stuff, and they found that the first time I started singing it was like 2015 or something, or 14 maybe. Yeah, I used to sing it at the end of No Sleep Tonight.
Yeah.
So was it like just an embryo of an idea of something to come, or you had? I mean, we hadn't written the song by that point. It was just the start of ideas.
Yeah, I mean, like every now and then, you sort of ad lib live, just something just comes out, and then for some reason you begin to remember ad libs to the point that like I'll go back and listen to one of our records and be like, oh, I used to sing it like that. Like that's how I'm supposed to sing it. I've been singing it this wild, different way that I've just suddenly evolved. And yes, and some of them stick, and if they stick, it's obviously for a reason.
Of course, yeah. So meant to be. Awesome. Okay, so over the years, you kind of really upped your stage production as well. Is there like a gimmick that you like to pull off? If money weren't like a limitation, let's just say, yeah. Is there something crazy that you would do to impress your audience?
Every time we start talking have the production talk about a tour, we say, right, we want this to happen and this to happen and this, and we want the sky to open up and lightning to come down and this. And then we go, right, so what's the budget? Okay, chop that off, whittle that down, whittle this down, what are we left with? Okay, all right, no, that's good, we can make a good show out of that. So yeah, our ideas of production always go well beyond our means.
I'd love to do something with water, like play in a water feature. If we're talking about if money was no
of course
option, but perhaps if science was put to the side as well, if reality was put to the side, and we could just play like, I don't know, maybe not underwater, but like just in some big fuck off water feature that like spurted in time with the music. That'd be kind of fun.
Kind of like SeaWorld, but without like orcas dying and stuff.
No whales involved.
Like dolphins jumping over. No, okay. No, just me. All right. What is, kind of jumping a little bit, what is the one thing or characteristic that when you travel to Germany, you're like, we're definitely in Germany. Like this could only happen here. Like I know that bands have some like inside jokes, kind of taking the piss a little bit.
Catering is always a lot better when you get to German gigs. Don't know why, like catering in Germany, no matter how small the show, you're guaranteed good food, and I love it. It's great.
Sick.
And you have to pay for the toilets in motorway services. That's really annoying. Because if we've just come from the UK, no one has any fucking euros. What am I meant to do? So you just have to duck under those little kid things. Like,
oh yeah, I do that all the time. So it's cool. I'm 2.5 years old. Okay, but food maybe makes up for it.
Yeah,
possibly.
Definitely. We love playing Germany, and in fact, the German shows that we've got coming up, a lot of them are now sold out.
I saw.
There's a lot of excitement for us in Germany. It's one of our sort of better territories, for want of a word, and we always have a lot of fun there. The shows are always really energetic, and there's a lot of energy and excitement, and can't wait to be back, to be honest.
Sweet. Festival season coming up. I know you just announced Switzerland, no? So any Rock am Ring sort of vibes planned?
No, we did that last year.
We've got
like
3 German festivals. Haven't they been announced?
Oh, Hurricane, I think.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know if I'm allowed to say them or not, because they've been announced.
I think it's out. I will double check when I edit.
Cool.
Don't worry.
Yes, we will be there over the summer.
Okay, very cool. I'll make that my last question. What are your top 3 tips on a long-lasting band marriage? They can be serious or a bit cheeky. You pick.
Top 3 tips.
I expect it's not any different from an actual marriage. You know, you've got to.
So vibrant love life. And
You gotta give each other the space to grow as individuals, but I don't know what do they say in weddings?
and good
Counselling,
times,
lots
bad
of
times.
counselling.
The band counseling. Never hurt no one.
I don't know. I mean, the fact is that we've known each other since we were like 5 years old, and we've grown up together, and we know each other very well, and we know when to sort of support each other, when to push each other, and then when to back off and give each other some space. So it's I think often clash of egos is when a lot of bands fall apart, or I don't know, different creative ideas or directions that they want to go in, whereas we seem to have just had a good dynamic and
We're good
worked
at like
together.
slapping each other if our egos start to grow as well. So
Gotta
yeah.
keep that in check.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Anything to add? Anyone for anyone?
Thanks for interviewing us.
Oh,
And thanks for watching.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Have an awesome show and an awesome rest of the tour as well.
Thank you very much.
See you soon. Bye.